In this part of our mini-series, we focus on a critical part of certification preparation, certification evidence. Besides the assumed readiness of the solution based on PCI MPoC, there is also heavy emphasis on the evidence supporting this to be made available for the security evaluation. Security evaluation relies heavily on the required information and supporting materials being accurate, up-to-date, and ready in advance. The evidence for the PCI MPoC evaluation encompasses a variety of materials to comprehensively verify security, functionality, and robustness. There are 5 main areas of preparation required that might change depending on the solution type. These are application samples, design documents, certificates and reports, SLC documents, and A&M backend documents. Let us look in detail at each of these here on. Application samples constitute an essential part of the required evidence. The MPoC application is required to be submitted in 4 different versions. The released version, that is, the version to be used in the solution when released, and its secure protections is expected to be enabled. No development or debug mode is supposed to be included. The unobfuscated version, that is, the version without any code obfuscation. The rest of the features shall be identical to the released version. The unprotected version, where all the anti-tampering features, such as root detection, hooking detection, developer and debug mode detection, shall be disabled in this version. The outdated version, which is an older version of the application previously blocked from the backend. If whitebox crypto is used, the sample WBC binary in executable format or .so format with the APIs exposed needs to be prepared. The random data files are generated by the secure random generation functions of the solution. For each supported secure random generation function, a file with at least 128 megabytes file size shall be provided. Many key design documents need to be created and carefully prepared. The main one is the global architecture document that describes the software within the MPoC solution, including the MPoC application and the A&M software. It shall cover at least all the core functions and security features of the software, such as solution overview, version numbers, secure assets, and other relevant details. Another critical document related to the design is the key table, that is simply an inventory of all the cryptographic keys used by the solution. This includes all the persistent, ephemeral, and temporal, symmetric or asymmetric keys used on the COTS side and the backend. Certificates that are used shall also be included. Baseline management explains how to set up and manage a commercial off-the-shelf baseline system. The COTS baseline system includes the necessary hardware and software in a COTS platform to ensure the MPoC application runs safely and effectively. A&M policy, if applicable for the solution type, outlines the attestation and monitoring policy for the MPoC solution. This policy shall define all the data types collected during the attestation process and establish methodologies for interpreting and managing that data throughout the MPoC A&M components. Third-party management describes how all third parties, including the solution partners, commercial partners, and merchants involved in the MPoC solution, are managed. The API user guidance, if the MPoC application supports APIs for calling applications. Most obviously source code of the MPoC application. And finally, software guidance document detailing how the MPoC software can be integrated into other MPoC software or the MPoC solution. Multiple certificates and reports need to be submitted for security evaluation, depending on their applicability. The PCI SLC certificate shall be made available in case the software development team is PCI SLC certified. PCI DSS certificate of the processing backend, A&M backend, if it has access to the account data, and the remote kernel environment if a remote kernel is implemented. The PCI PIN certificate for any backend environment that processes PIN data. The PCI PTS POI certificate for any supported external card reader or PIN entry device. Finally, penetration test report of the MPoC software and the network components of the MPoC solution would be required. Depending on the certification choice of having PCI SLC or not, in the case PCI SLC is not chosen, Appendix D of the PCI MPoC standard would apply, which would make the following documents a necessity. A software security policy that defines and establishes specific rules and objectives to ensure software security during the design, development, and maintenance phases. A software security strategy document that ensures the software's security meets the standards outlined in the software security policy. The risk management document details the risk management strategy for the software development process. The vulnerability management document defines procedures to identify, assess, and mitigate potential vulnerabilities that might impact the software and/or the solution during the software development process, as well as the software maintenance process. Finally, the change in data management document defines the procedure for introducing changes to the MPoC software. Depending on the certification choice of having PCI DSS or not, in the case PCI DSS is not chosen, Appendix A of the PCI MPoC standard would apply, which would make the following documents a necessity. A&M Backend Security Document outlines the policies and procedures for managing, developing, operating, and maintaining the backend systems involved in the attestation and monitoring environment. Human resource management is used by HR personnel, management, and relevant stakeholders involved in the implementation and maintenance of the MPoC solution, which focuses on the operation and maintenance of the A&M backend environments. The Security Awareness Program describes the procedure that is intended to maintain the employee's secure awareness in the A&M backend environment. Risk Management details the risk management strategy for the A&M backend environment. Vulnerability Management defines procedures to identify, assess, and mitigate potential vulnerabilities that might impact the security of the A&M backend environment, including its operating and management processes. The Incident Management document defines the actions to be taken when an incident occurs in the A&M backend. Finally, Change in Data Management define the procedure for introducing changes to the A&M backend environment. To sum up, documentation and evidence are as important as solution readiness. Therefore, it is crucial to pay attention on preparation of these to go through successful certification. Follow REEKON for more insights on PCI MPoC and payment security. See you in next video.